conversation about LG autonomy because it's a big one. We've been joined in the program by two gentlemen. Mr. Aminu Muazu Maifata is the National President of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. He joins us on the program, as well as Akogun Kola Onadipe is the National Coordinator of Joint Initiative Forum, a non-partisan advocacy group and think tank for National Project Development Initiative. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Maifata, I want to thank you for coming on the program. So let's begin with you. This is, I'm sure it's an exciting news. So is the chokehold of the governors who have been vilified in this entire process, is it really off the neck of the local government areas?
Thank you very much, and good evening.
Please, go ahead with your thought. I was asking whether this is Uhuru yet for the local government.
Actually, it is a moment of excitement for local government administration in Nigeria. It is a welcome development, as we all know, even though there are certain states that have been enjoying this kind of autonomy before now, but there are very few, which I did mention the other time, like Nasarawa, like Lagos, like Kaduna, but very few. And they have been experiencing tremendous development in those states. So now it is going to be across the nation. So this development, this freedom in some few states where the governors, like I just mentioned, don't tamper with the administration of the local governments, be it their financial transactions or their administrative autonomy. So it is a welcome development that each and every person, most especially people at the grassroots, welcome. And we cannot say there are losers or there are winners, but it is an unanimous decision of the Supreme Court. And since the Supreme Court has spoken and people are so happy about the pronouncement, then as law-abiding citizens of the country, then we just have to bow and then follow strictly and allow local government councils to breathe.
All right, if we bring you back to the studio, so Mr. Nadipe, you've been a former commissioner, so you've been in the space as much as possible. Do you think by this, okay, maybe I'll rephrase it this way. Besides the release of these funds, how can local government really be free from the control of the governors? The reason I said that is that some people are concerned that this may just be an academic exercise in the long run, at the end of the day, where because the governors have a strong role to play in deciding who becomes a local government chairman and councillor, they will always look for a way to have access to that money for those who tamper with that money.
Yeah. Let me first of all lay it well. And I think you've done well by asking that particular question. The fundamentals is the fact that everybody in Nigeria today, except perhaps the governors, are not happy. Everybody is happy. That's the truth about it. And it's a new dawn. For us, we have been working on this thing for the past 12 years. And don't forget, in the Buhari administration, there was a constitutional amendment that was scuttled by about 10 states. So we couldn't make 24, which is the minimum for the constitution to be amended. That was what scuttled it. But the practitioners were not deterred. They still went ahead and pushed and advocate in the way that things will get to this point. But what the president has done is very laudable, because don't forget, about 4 weeks ago, The National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Rep, passed the amendment for this local government autonomy. The papers are already in the state houses of assembly. And so while we are waiting for that, the president also did a very proactive action by directing the AGF to go to court, and that was how we got to this point. So it's a two-pronged attack from the way we saw it, that the Supreme Court has now given the judgment, and everybody is happy with it. But it's not Uru yet, because the constitutional amendment is the final node, which we are hoping and believing that all the state houses of assembly, with their speakers, they will also know that time is not.
So in your view, my question is, in your view, this is not foolproof to interference by governors?
No, it's not.
Let me take you to Mr. Maifata on this particular one. Mr. Maifata, we may begin to think about the quality of leadership at the local level, given the resources that's going to be in their hands right now. Perhaps, I don't know what it means, maybe they will start attending FAC meetings at the end of the day. So I want you to speak to the personnel level of the local government leaders who will be able to appropriate these monies, you know, to the best and the interest of the people or the generality of the people. That is, if they are to attend FAC at all.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it has been our main concern as the third tier of government not be allowed to be attending FAC. We have been yearning for this, and by the special grace of God, this will come a reality. And to your question, if you look at the caliber of local government council chairmen now, more than two-thirds in the country, most especially those that won election who are in that seat resulting from election. Most of them are highly educated with good experiences in administration of local government councils or in general administration. So that is why we say that if there is this kind of autonomy, it will greatly go a long way in improving the people at the grassroots. The issue of incompetency will not be there. But what we need to do, most especially as ALGON at the national level, is to come up with strong sensitization so that this advantage or this autonomy that majority of the people, in fact, overwhelming majority of Nigerians have been yearning for, which we have just passed the step one, will not go in vain. So we need to sensitize, resensitize, and then bring up the required or basic requisites that will enable the local government council chairman to perform well. And we need...
Land on your thought, please land on your thought, please.
Okay, and we need serious check and balances, because we have been talking to ourselves since yesterday. We should not take this for granted, because Nigerians' eyes are on us. They are expecting, the expectations are so high, so we need to sit up. We need to be imbibe the culture of transparency and integrity so that we can deliver on the expectations of Nigerians.
All right, Mr. Maifata, you literally took the words out of my mouth. I'm going to ask you another question following up, piggyback from what you said, and the question will also come from Mr. Onadipe, which has to do with self-accountability. Councillors have legislative arm, so they are both playing executive and legislative role. How do you think they can check themselves and check the chairman to be able to give proper account or to be properly accountable for the resources in their hands? You've just mentioned it. How can we trust them that they will be able to look at themselves and account for the resources available to them. In May last, just May, 1.1 trillion was shared among the 3 tiers, 288 billion went to the local government. I'm sure more money is coming this time. So this one is going to be direct. So we're talking about real resources. And if you're the executive, you're the legislature, how do you check yourself?
Yeah, the system is there. And the time to practice it, as clearly stated in the law, is as a third tier of government, is what we are required to do now. And even now, wherever you find an elected executive in the local government council, you will see the legislative arm being functional effectively. Because at the end of the day, one is required to, so at the end of the year, or even before the preceding year ends, you are required as a local government council chairman to submit your budget proposals to the legislative arm, which will go same rigorous way like is being conducted at the state and national level. With that, we have the Office of the Auditor General of Local Governments, and is there to check whether the councils are adhering, that is, executive arm of the council are adhering to these rules. So the system is there. And now it will be down and it will be upon us to make sure that we practice it, because all eyes are going to be on us.
Yes,
so
indeed,
we need to do the right thing.
Mr. My father, all eyes are going to be on you guys. The difference in your own, and I empathize with you, or sympathize, if you will, you don't have immunity. So if anything goes wrong, you're not like governors or the president. And let me bring it to you, Mr. Nadikwe, on that same question I asked about checks and balance, given their role in this particular, because we're looking at people's money here.
Let me tell you, the check and balances are always there. But the way it's going to be now is that a lot of quality people will be attracted into the local government. And we saw all of this coming. In each local government, there have been a lot of training for the public officers and civil servants. They have them, the same set of people you have in the state. You have similar sets of people in the local government. They have been trained over the years. But when you train people and there's nothing for them to do, the monies will never come. And so how will you get the best out of them? The way it's going to run is that there will be a lot of people that will be attracted. And that's the key point for us. You have a lot of professors, lecturers, doctors who are apparently retired. They want to also partake in all of these functions. And once there is this accountability being improved in terms of the kind of money that goes into the local government, and trust me, no money that enters local government gets stolen without the people not knowing. That's the truth about it.
Who is the people here?
The people in the local government.
That's the workers?
Yes. Okay. Let's put ourselves as an entity in the local government, because we all reside in local government. People forget, we all reside. Nobody lives in the state. It is the people in the local government that has all the wherewithal to actually know, okay, where is this fund going? Where has it gone to? They know where to trace the fund, and they will ensure that the culprit is dealt with in their own local way.
All right, so let's take it to Mr. Maifata. Just as we're taking it, if my producer can get me my second slide that has to do with the functions, I think, of local government in the fourth schedule, where we can be rolling that while I ask my question to Mr. Maifata. Remember that one of the big tests in your expenditure is going to be the issue of minimum wage and all of that. So I want you to speak to the issue of paying teachers. Sometimes there's been an argument back and forth as to who is going to pay teachers. Let it not be like career orphans in this situation.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I want to assure you that the issue of payments of teacher salaries will not be a challenge to local government councils across the country. After all these years, their salaries have been coming from local government councils funds to them. States or federal governments are not paying teachers' salaries. And just like I said, we need more sensitization. Once a local government council chairman knows that he has no immunity, so he must sit up. If you can pay your staff, pay other staff, why not teachers? Teachers that amongst the staff in the local government councils are the ones that are performing optimally. They hardly abscond from office. So any local government council chairman in the right sense must make sure that teachers are paid first. So that issue of fear that local government administrators or local government council chairmen will not pay teacher salaries regularly or at when due, I don't think it will be there.
All right, we're totally out of time, Mr. Nadikwe. The reason I asked that question is because Abdurrahman Abdurazak said that this is like removing burden from us. We've been bailing out local government for a long time. So thank God this is going to be off our back. So 30 seconds so that we'll wrap up.
Well, I had Governor Razak, but the point there is that all the monies for the teachers are already in the local government allocation that is coming from federal government. And the problem is always been that once it gets to the state capital, and somewhere along the line, that's where the problem is. You will never get to know what is actually going for local government.
Well, the governor said they don't tamper with the state fund.
Look,
they don't tamper.
Invite every governor here, one by one, to take their stand. That's why they are hiding under Governors Forum. They can't come back and say that they don't believe in this thing. Right. They won't. Because we'll wait for them on the re-election. And that's the issue.
We'll definitely get one of them to come and talk about this sometime. All right, we must thank you, Mr. Akogo Kola Nadikwe, is the National Coordinator, former Commissioner in Ogun State, and National Coordinator of Joint Initiative Forum, as well as National Chairman and National President, I should say, of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, ALGON, Mr. Aminu Muazu Maifata. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.